Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on our Bootstrap theme for WordPress. What I have here is just a default installation of WordPress. I haven't touched anything. I haven't created any posts or anything like that. Alright, so we're starting from scratch. Here I have Sublime Text, and in the sidebar I have my WordPress installation. And you can see in the themes folder we have just the default themes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new folder in the themes folder, and we're going to call this template Wordstrap. Okay, first thing we're going to create is the Style Dot Css file. Oops, don't want to do that. Okay, and this also acts kind of like a manifest file. Okay, we need to put in our comments up here. Alright, so let's go ahead and add a theme name. Okay, we're going to call this Wordstrap. And let's see, we don't need that. Next thing will be the author. I'll put my name, you can put your own name. Okay, let's do author URI. Okay, we'll just say Eduonix.com. What else? Description. We'll say simple Bootstrap theme for WordPress. Okay, let's do version. This will be version 1.0. And I think that should be good. Alright, so let's save that, and then let's create an index.php file. Alright, now it should be able to show under themes now. If we go to appearance and then themes, you can see we have this Wordstrap. Now I do have a screenshot file, so I'm just going to paste that in the theme folder. Okay, you can find this in your project files. Very simple. Let's go ahead and reload. Okay, very simple. We just have the word Wordstrap. Okay, it looks alright. So what we want to do now, let's go into index.php and we'll put some base HTML tags in here. So for the title, we'll say Wordstrap. Okay, we're going to need Bootstrap, so let's go ahead and get that. If we go to getbootstrap.com, and we'll go ahead and download it. Okay, we'll open up the zip file, and let's also open up our theme folder. And what we want to do here is we want to create a CSS folder. Okay, and we're going to bring bootstrap.css over. Alright, and then we'll also create a JS folder, and we're going to bring over bootstrap.js. Okay, so we'll close that up. Now let's go back into index.php, and we're going to have to include a couple link tags. So let's say link rel equals style sheet, and let's see, href. Now we want to go in the CSS folder and then bootstrap.css. Alright, we also want to make sure we include the main style sheet. Now to do that, Bootstrap gives us a function we can use. Okay, so we'll say style sheet and then href. Okay, this is where we can put in some PHP tags, and we're going to say blog info. And in here we just want to put in style sheet underscore URL. Alright, and then it'll bring all the system style sheets. Alright. Now what I want to do is grab a nav bar. So on the Bootstrap website, let's go to where is it? Components and then nav bar. And let's grab this. We're going to take the whole thing here, copy, and let's put that in the body. Save it, and let's see what we have. Okay, we'll go to our front end. Oh, I didn't activate it. So let's go ahead and activate the theme. Alright. Now the reason that it looks like this is because it's not seeing the Bootstrap CSS file. Alright, if we look at the source code, you can see it's looking in /CSS Bootstrap, but this file is actually in the theme folder. So what we need to do is go back to index.php, and let's go up here, get rid of that dot, and we're going to say php blog info, and in here we want to pass in template underscore directory. Okay, and then we'll end that PHP tag, and that's going to go inside of our template directory and then in CSS. So we'll save that, go back, and now it's working. Okay, so we want to change this nav bar a little bit. Let's go down to the nav tag here, and I just want to indent this. Let's see. Alright. Now we're going to dumb this down quite a bit. So starting at the top, first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the fluid. I want this to just be container. Okay, we'll get rid of the comments. We don't need that. And then we have this nav bar header class. Let's see, this button, this is for responsiveness. So when it's on a mobile or just a smaller screen in general, we'll have a button that we can click that will then show the menu. So we're going to leave all that stuff. For the brand, let's change that. Let's change that to Wordstrap. And let's see. Actually, you know what? Let's not do Wordstrap. Let's make this dynamic. We want it to reflect whatever we have as the site name in WordPress. Alright, so let's see. We're going to do PHP blog info, and then in here we just want to pass in name. Alright, and for the href for the link, let's say PHP blog info. In here we want to put in URL. Alright. Now this down here is where we're going to implement the WP Nav Walker class. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of this whole UL. Okay, just like that. And then we have our form. This is going to be the search form, and it's going to be pretty much completely redone. So I'm going to take out everything that's in the form tags, which ends right here. Alright, so we get that, and then we're going to take out this whole UL as well. Alright, so we're left with just this, okay? So this is the entire nav. So we'll hold off just for now with that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so it's very basic. We just have our branding. We'll implement the Walker nav, or the Nav Walker, in the next video, but let's just continue on with some of the base HTML. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go under where the nav ends, and we're going to create a div, and let's give it a class of container and also index. Alright, and then in here we're going to have a row. Okay, we're going to use Bootstrap's grid system. So we'll have a row, and inside there we're going to have a column. Say call MD8. So that'll be an 8-column div. And we're also going to have a 4-column div. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, we're just going to change that to a 4. This will be the sidebar. So inside the 8-column div, we're going to have a panel. So we'll say class equals panel, and we'll say panel default. Okay, and then inside that, we're going to have the panel heading. Alright, and in the panel heading, we'll have an H3. We'll give it a class of panel title. Okay, and for the text, we're going to say blog posts. I'm not sure why this isn't indenting automatically. It used to. Okay, so that's our panel title. Now we want to go under the heading div and then put the body. So we want div class, and this will be panel body. Okay, so in here is where we're going to have our post loop. So let's say PHP if, okay, we're going to do if have posts. If have posts, I'm going to use the shorthand syntax. Alright, and then we're going to put in our while. So we'll say while have posts. And we're going to go like that and say the underscore post. Alright, let's do our end while. Now we're going to have 2 columns here. We're going to have one for the image and then one for all the data. Alright, so let's put in a class called row, and then we're going to do div class. This will be call MD3. Okay, and we'll just say image here. And then we'll have our 9 columns. So this will be call MD9. And in here, let's put in the title. We can say PHP. Actually, we'll put this in an H2. PHP echo the underscore title. Alright. Let's save that. Okay, so here you can see we have our 3-column div where the image will go, and then our 9-column with the content. So we'll get back to adding all the content there in a little bit, but let's continue on and add the sidebar code here. Okay, now this is going to be a widget area, so what we'll need to do is create a functions.php file, and we'll need to register the widgets we want, which will be just the sidebar. So right here what we'll do is, let's say PHP, and then we're going to see if there's actually a widget active here. So if is underscore active underscore sidebar, and then we need the actual widget position, which will be sidebar. Okay, and then in here what we'll do is say PHP dynamic underscore sidebar. Okay, we also need the position, which will be sidebar. Okay, it doesn't have to be called sidebar, you can call it whatever you'd like. Alright, so let's save that. And let's add the footer real quick. Okay, so underneath, we want to go under the row. Actually, I'm sorry, we want to go under the whole container. Alright, and what we want to do is we want to create another container. Alright, and let's put a horizontal rule here, and then we want our footer tags. Okay, inside the footer we'll have a paragraph, and let's do a copyright. Alright. Now, I also want to include two things. We want jQuery and we want the Bootstrap JavaScript file. Okay, we're going to put our JavaScripts right here. And actually, I'm going to paste this in. We'll paste in the jQuery, which is just going to be the CDN. And we'll also paste in the Bootstrap JS. Now we're using this blog info template directory just like we did with the CSS file. Alright, so let's save that and reload. And I used the wrong symbol for the copyright. This should actually be an ampersand. Alright, so I think before we end this part, what I want to do is split this up into a header and a footer file in addition to index.php. So in index.php, we're going to grab from the very top down to the end of the nav, so right here. Okay, we're going to cut that, and let's create a new file called header.php. Oops, why do I keep doing that? Header.php, and we'll paste that in, save it. And then in its place inside index.php, we're going to open up a set of PHP tags, and we're going to say get_header. Alright, so that should look the exact same, which it does. And then we're going to do the same thing with footer. We're going to grab from this container down to the very bottom. We'll cut that out and create a footer file. And paste it in, save it, and then in index.php we just want to say get_footer. Okay, now that should look the exact same. Good. So that cleans things up a little bit. In the next video we will work on the posts, okay, this post row right here. Make that look a little better. We're going to include the metadata and all that. Alright, so I will see you in the next video.